Cheap aluminum profile rigs aren't plug and play. Here's everything I had to modify to make it work for me. I'm covering 5 fixes in today's video: frame stability, triple monitor alignment, seat positioning, peripheral placement, and base shaker. So this rig, it's a combination of 3060 and 3030 aluminum profile. Very limited on where you could put your peripherals, and it flexed a lot. Like whenever you use the handbrake, I have a load cell handbrake, and it flexed and moved. Every time I shift, it kind of jiggled around. So that was definitely not as stable as I would have liked. I don't know why they didn't just use one big piece. They used 2 pieces here, and it meets in the middle. So that's something that I was not very happy with when I noticed that. So what I did is I just added some metal brackets on each side to help sturdy that up. And it does have, I painted it black just so it hides it, but it has these steel pieces inserts here. I couldn't tell any movement from it, but I just wanted to be proactive, especially since I was lifting it with casters. I really wanted to support this area, but I haven't had any flex that I am aware of since I've done this modification. It originally came with one bracket on the inside here for both sides, and I went around and I doubled up on every bracket. Every area that has a bracket, I doubled up on it. All 4 contact points are mounted, so that added a lot of stability to the casters themselves. They're all mounted to 4 positions, and I have 6 casters. So the weight is evenly distributed across the casters. Before I added these cross sections, the seat was it was mounted on like every Chinese rig that you see. It had these 2 cross braces, and then it had the metal box that it sat on. I kept them installed just to add some cross bracing to the bottom there, and I just use it. That's where the subwoofer hold, and it's actually a step stool for when I get in and out of the rig. It's the same story over here, double brackets, and this is the same over here where the 2 pieces meet. This piece here is an aluminum extrusion. It's just a piece of metal going across, attached to aluminum extrusion on each side. So what I did to sturdy this up is took these brackets, the same ones that I put on the side, and I installed them front to back. Those bolts there. You can see this thing is not moving. There's still a little bit of flex, but drastically reduced. So this triple monitor setup was very affordable. All in all, at the end of the day, it works, and once you get it set up, it works good. But the process was a bit of a headache. But if you have the patience and you're willing to mess with it, you can get a nice triple monitor setup for cheap. Here is the triple monitor stand. The whole thing is pretty solid. It comes down here. The legs are pretty wide, so it has a good stance. This is one piece here. The actual triple part of the stand. It's all connected by these brackets here. And so this whole piece here, it lifts off. And so the monitors can disconnect from the actual frame here. I had a lot of trouble figuring out how to get these lined up. I couldn't get the bottom edges here to line up, and this front part kept coming this way too far. The way I found to fix this was actually unscrew it a little bit from the actual stand. And so unscrewing it let it tilt forward a little bit, and it got lined up, and I was able to get that 120 degree. Get your center monitor lined up first, and then do your side monitors. And a tip that I found online that really helped me, you want to measure from here to here and here to here. And those should both be the same measurement. So that'll be a good indicator if you have the right angle. I think the thing that's been the biggest point of contention for this whole build for me has been the seat mounting. It's been the thing that I've probably spent the most time on out of anything on the rig. And arguably, I think it is the most important thing, because your seat, everything else on your rig is based around your seating position. So it took me 3 or 4 complete teardowns and iterations to come up with a seating solution that I'm happy with. What it came with, it was these, the generic metal brackets, and they have spaces in them for some reason. So they have like built-in flex, and these slide rails. And this is a Temu bucket seat, and the seat itself is actually great. I would 100% recommend getting this over an NRG, for example. It is basically the same exact thing. It's just not branded. It has quality stitching, good material, good plush, and it's an actual full bucket seat. Good support. So I 100% recommend this. The seat is great. The mounting options on this profile rig was not good. Whenever you hit the brake hard, especially with load cell, you hear creaking and some movement. The first attempt was I removed these. I mounted this mount that came with the seat directly to the bottom stops there. And that was really low. And I also had to remove the sliders. I had to take the sliders off because it was too wide now. So it was really low and I had no sliders. If I went to Home Depot and I got these 1/4 inch thick steel brackets, they're bronze plated. They're actually magnetic too, which is pretty cool. I got one for all 4 sides, so I installed the bucket seat on its regular mount, and then I got these guys installed. This took a lot of maneuvering and trying to figure out what is the best option and getting the right angle. But I eventually found it. I wanted a slight tilt backwards, but only a little bit, and I've achieved that. The bracket's here, but there's a support. Here's the bracket, and there's a support that comes back and mounts here. And I also installed the one-sided adjustable seat, so you don't pull up, you actually push it inwards, and it's only on one side and it has a cable that goes across to connect to the other side. So here's the better view. Here's the bracket, this is the sliders, and then I installed another bracket on the bracket to the underside here. One of the best upgrades and the biggest quality of life is creating more space for peripheral mounting. This was the mount for the shifter and the handbrake. So just adding this 3060, the wider profile, it gave me so many more options. For one, I was able to mount the seat. I was able to put just quality of life stuff, headphone bracket. I could mount shifter, sequential, and e-brake. And then just little quality of life stuff like this. Set it up there. So I got a spot for both my wheels, one over here, one over there. Bassshakers has by far given me the biggest jump in immersion out of all the upgrades, besides maybe triples. It's amazing to be able to feel the texture of the road. You feel the traction loss. You feel the bumps in the road. So this is the Basshaker. It's the Duke Audio 6 ohm. This is the one I have it mounted on towards the rear of the seat. And some people use double-sided tape, which would work, but I just went ahead and did the screws. So I mounted it, just screwed 4 screws in, and then routed the cables through here, and it's coming under here, over to here, and this is where it's kind of messy, it's hard to see, but this is where the Basshaker under the pedals lives. So this is where, and I kind of just mounted it upside down under the pedals. And then everything goes up here into this amp, which is, I think it's a 150 watt amp. And it all wires into here, and then it goes from audio to USB into the back of the computer. So I didn't know anything about, when I was starting, I didn't know anything about audio wiring, and when I first hooked it up, I ran each 2 from one, 2 from the other, and I spliced them at the end. I twisted them together and I put them into this port here. And then I turned it on, it didn't work, and I thought just didn't work. But then I looked up online, and it turns out you have to wire one base shaker to the other, and then you put one wire from both into the red and black on there. It's kind of confusing. It's pretty simple, but I made it confusing, and it took me probably a whole night to figure it out. But base shakers have changed the whole experience for me. It really is night and day. I recommend anybody, even if you just have like a FGT Lite, I recommend go ahead and get a base shaker. It really is a game changer. I think it's on par with Motion. It might be a hot take, but I think bang for your buck immersion, base shakers are the best investment you can make in your rig. These cheap aluminum profile rigs can be amazing value for money. As long as you're willing to put in some work and make some adjustments, it will be a rig that will last you a long time and you'll get a lot of life out of. The three main things that I would focus on right away when you get one of these: reinforce early. Make sure you get it reinforced before you put miles on it. Plan out your monitor setup, your triple monitor setup, and be patient with it and just kind of try to enjoy the process. It can be frustrating. And last of all, you want to make sure you don't rush your seating position, especially if you're not happy with the stock seating position. There's so many different variables when it comes to seating, your height, your arm length, what kind of cars you're going to drive. Are you going to be GT3? Are you doing F1? Are you an all-arounder? So it all depends on what you're going to be doing. So seating position is something I would definitely be thoughtful about, because that is what your whole rig and ergonomics stem from, your seating position. So don't rush that. Really take your time. Try to learn what would work best for you. What I recommend you do if you get one of these is definitely do some customization to be able to add more peripherals, because what you get stock is really, it's a pretty minimal. So adding peripheral, reinforcing, setting up your monitors, be thoughtful, take your time, and seating position are the main factors to take away. In the next video, I'm going to be putting all these upgrades to the test and seeing if I can actually get through a rally stage. My goal is to become a better rally driver. I love rally. I'm not that great, and I can barely make it through stages half the time. But that's my goal. We're going to go on a rally run. We're going to go from rags to riches in rally. We're going to see how far we can get and progress, and that's going to be part of our journey here. And a question for you guys: what part of your rig gave you the most trouble when you were mounting? The biggest headache? I'd love to hear it.